Right, this is my second tag video. I was tagged by Full Metal Piglet for a second time, and the tag is, if you only had 5 games to play for the rest of your life, what would they be? And this was a hard one. This was really hard. I had to think really long and hard about which games I knew I could just play over and over and over. And there are very few out there that have that much replay value. I mean, I play a lot of my games over and over again anyway. But the thought of, you just had 5. And I thought, well, okay, I'll look and see what my eternal favorites really are. And I've got to admit to being a bit of a snob in that I like the more recent generation games just because they look better and the gameplay is a little more flawless and the story's better. I'm very story driven. I like a game that has a good story to it. When games first were developed, and I was, I don't know, I guess a little bit shocked and maybe a little horrified to find this out. They actually did the gameplay first and then wrote the story around it, which I thought, that's really kind of backwards, but I'm digressing massively. The first game that I can just play over and over and over again, and I don't ever see that ever changing, is, and I mentioned it before, Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil. It was just brilliant. I thought it was fantastic. It was different from the rest of the games in the franchise. It had a whole lot of smooth moves in it. You had the Mercenaries minigame, which I played repeatedly and still haven't gotten a gigantic score on. But that's because I tend to, I don't know, get a bit panicky when the villagers start to overrun you and you run out of ammo. You could play as Ada Wong, so you're doing the bits that she did when she wasn't with Leon. So it was good. I really enjoyed it, and I can just play it over and over and over again, just because it was that much different from everything else they'd done, and the first step towards changing the way the franchise looked. The second game, and again I mentioned it before, is this thing, and I know a lot of people would argue that Heavy Rain doesn't have replay value, and I say if you don't think it has replay value, you've got a very limited imagination. It's one of those games where whatever you do affects the characters terminally, okay? If you kill them, you can't come back, you can't respawn, you gotta just troop ahead with the story and see how it's changed. I think it's a brilliant game, and I can just play it forever. The other one is a new one, and that's Red Dead Redemption. And it was like Gun, but so amped up and so much more free roaming. And I adored Gun, and that was actually going to be my original choice. But this game, for playability, it was just really fantastic. A lot of little mini games, a lot of things you could do. You could travel around the country. It really felt like you were participating in a Western. The last two, and it's going to come as no surprise if you see my other video, you'll realize that I do just absolutely adore these 2 games. I've said it before and I'll say it again, lightning in a bottle. It was just a fantastic mix of the right actors, the right chemistry, the right writing, or absolute perfection, score 10 out of 10. And it doesn't matter how many times I play it, I still enjoy it just as much each time. But anyway, that's my 5 choices, and I want to thank Full Metal Piglet for tagging me yet again, because I really do enjoy doing these things, and it's good fun to sit down and talk about the games. And I'm going to do the same thing I did the last couple of tag videos, is I'm going to tag Silent Mike again, because again he's entertaining, he's got a great channel, and I'm sure his answer is going to be very interesting. And if you get a chance, check out Full Metal Piglet's channels, because she's got quite a few, and I have mentioned it before. She makes the sack dolls, and hey, she's a fan of Firefly. Check her out. The point of it was, the character I fell in love with was Jack. So Jack? No, I didn't like Jack. The person I fell in love with was John, or I should say, I had to sink or swim, a slide nud, a slide nud, a slide nod and a wink. And you can't see this, but I've got my hand over here. I'm doing this, Italian thing. And I want to tell you,